What's going on, guys? Welcome to Jesus Gabriel Fitness. I know why you clicked this video. You want to know how to grow your glutes, right? This is the body part that many ladies and some guys want to improve, want to grow, and want to make it look good. So, after I teach you what I know in regards to how to grow your glutes, you are not going to have the same issue ever again. There is a lot of misconception in regards to what it takes to really grow muscle, all right? You see a lot of videos on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on websites, showing you different workouts that are really not the best way or the best strategy to grow the glutes. Most of these workouts just focus on isolation and a high number of reps, and most of them are body weight exercises or just using a resistance band around your legs. And let me tell you, those stuff are good, but they serve a different purpose. They're not gonna be the best way to really grow the glutes. So what I'm gonna show you today, right now, in this workout, is what I know and what I've seen in my clients, in myself, on how to make sure the glutes really grow, get larger, get thicker, and get overall more developed. After you watch this video, you're never going to approach any glute workout the same way you've been doing in the past. If you do what I tell you in this video, you're gonna significantly notice a lot of improvement, guys, in your glutes. I guarantee it. So let's get into the video. In order to grow the glutes, you have to make sure you load it with resistance so that it has a stimulus to grow. Doing a lot of body weight repetitions with very low resistance and only using a resistance band around the legs is not going to recruit so many muscle fibers from the glute area so that it can grow. So you're basically helping your body or your lower body tone. Whenever you do a lot of body weight exercises or calisthenic workouts for your glutes, all right, these exercises really are not meant to maximize a lot of the growth and thickness that you really want in your glutes. All right, so what's the best approach to build the glutes? All right, first we're gonna cover the workout in just a few seconds. But before I get there, let me explain why did I choose these exercises and also why am I doing the rep range that I'm talking about. So when it comes to building size, okay, which is called muscle hypertrophy, you want to have a resistance or a load that allows you to complete no more than 12 repetitions. So we're gonna stick to a rep range between 10 and 12. If you can do any more than 12 repetitions on a set of glute exercises, then I recommend you increase the load, increase the resistance, increase the weight. So let's get into the workout, guys, and let me show you why this works. The first exercise that I recommend for you to grow your glutes, and it's basically a compound movement, is the hip thrust, okay? You can do this exercise with a barbell or you can do it with dumbbells. Here, I'm gonna show you both ways so that you know which one works best for you, because some people feel it a lot more using dumbbells and some people prefer to use the barbell. So it's gonna be really up to you. If you decide to do the barbell hip thrust with the bar, right, make sure to use a padding on the part that goes on your pelvis to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. The reason why I choose this exercise as my number one compound movement for glutes is because it maximizes the most, all right, that contraction in the glutes. It also uses a little bit of hamstrings, but it's mainly glute activation. Recommend is keeping a rep range between 10 and 12 repetitions with proper form and slow tempo under control at all times. That's how you maximize muscle hypertrophy. This one does not engage a lot the quads and the hamstrings as much as barbell squats. When you're doing any sort of squats, okay, your quads and your hamstrings are going to get a little bit more activation, which is gonna result in your overall thighs getting bigger. So the right approach to grow the glutes, guys, is to focus on overloading your glutes, meaning adding resistance so that they have a reason to grow. The reason why these workouts that you see on Instagram or on YouTube about booty workouts are not too effective because they just focus on high repetitions, lots of jumping, lots of lunges, lots of hip abductions with the bands. And although those are good for toning and warming up the hips, they're really not the best to maximize growth. Another great exercise is the Sumo Deadlift, guys. This right here, the fact that we have our legs a lot more open than with the traditional deadlift, we're able to engage the hamstrings and the glutes a lot more, relying less in our lower back and upper back, and you name it. So this one is a great lower body exercise to isolate those glutes and those hamstrings. However, the key when you're doing the Sumo Deadlift is to maintain proper spine alignment. You want to make sure that your spine, okay, from the head to the lower back is as neutral as it can be. Your chest should remain facing forward. You do not want to be bending over way too much, like leaning towards the bar. No, no, no. You want to bend the legs. That's how you're going to get down to the bar. You're going to have your legs wide open and you're going to be bending those legs with your arms locked out, reaching down for the bar. If you have a hard time getting in that position, then I strongly recommend that you stretch and you properly foam roll those inner thighs to make sure that they're nice and loose prior to doing deadlifts. As far as the tempo goes, I recommend going up in 1 second and then holding it at the top for a count of 1 to 2 seconds. When you reach the end of the motion, which is right at the top after picking up the weight, you want to hold that position. Make sure you squeeze the glutes and your hamstrings as tight as possible without leaning back. So you don't want to be arching that lower back. Some people like to overextend the back thinking that it's better, but in reality it's not. Your stopping point should be at a perfect 90-degree angle. You want to have your upper body, okay, completely vertical. The more you lean back, the more stress you're gonna put in your lower back, and that's not necessarily gonna activate the glutes any longer. So the next exercise that I recommend is the high step up, okay? Make sure the bench is high enough to allow you to place your leg at a 90-degree angle at the starting point. That's important because at this point right here, you're maximizing that stretch in the hamstrings and the glutes. And then as you step up the bench and you finish the repetition, you're gonna be fully contracting that glute and that hamstring in order to grow. This exercise right here, guys, is really gonna make you feel the burn in the glute area, especially when done after the hip thrust. The key for this exercise to work is to maintain an upright torso. You wanna avoid, guys, leaning way too much forward when you're stepping on top of that bench. That's really gonna kill your gains and it's not really gonna engage the lower body as much. You're gonna be basically cheating. And also make sure, guys, that the bottom leg, the one that you're using to balance yourself, is not pushing way too hard when you're stepping up. You wanna choose a resistance that allows you to complete between 10 and 15 repetitions, preferably 12, somewhere in the middle. If you can go beyond 15, then you're obviously choosing a very light weight. The next exercise, guys, is one that I really like because you can really feel that outer side of the glute, okay? This one is called courtesy lunge. You're basically crossing the leg back as you lunge backwards, and that's really gonna make you engage a lot more the glutes than just a traditional lunge where you also maximize more the hamstring contraction. Make sure you always do it nice and slow and control to maximize that contraction in the glutes. Also make sure that you are choosing the right resistance. Remember, you don't want to be doing more than 15 repetitions or that's a sign that is way too light for you. Posture here is also crucial. Anytime you're doing any sort of lunge, you want to avoid leaning that upper body forward, especially in this one. As you cross the leg back, make sure that you're not overcrossing it. If you overcross it, you might start feeling a little bit of knee pain because you're putting your knee at a compromising position that is really not natural for it. To be safe, guys, when you cross the leg back to do this lunge, I recommend that you keep the distance at about 1 foot, okay? You should be able to fit a foot in between the front leg and the back leg when they are crossed. So you always want to stay safe. Don't go way past the foot. That's actually plenty of distance because there's really no point in risking it and injuring your knee or your joint. So one of my most favorite exercises for the glutes, the reason being is this one, it's a hip hinge. The same motion that you do whenever you do a kettlebell swing is this one right here, but the only difference is you're using the cable station. This cable machine is gonna allow you to keep constant tension in the glutes, okay? Whenever you bridge it up and whenever you lower it. You can really feel every single contraction of it. For every rep that you do, you're gonna start feeling that burn in the glutes and it just feels amazing. When you do this exercise, you're only hinging at the hips. You do not want to be doing a squat. That's why we chose this machine. The common mistake with the kettlebell swing that most people do is they tend to do a squat combined with the swing. So we want to prevent that motion from happening. Just focus on letting the cable travel back as much as you can, and always make sure to leave room so that when you pull back, okay, when you let the cable go, it does not touch the waist neck. In other words, make sure to step away with enough distance that allows you to keep your body and the weight in constant tension. Another great exercise is a single leg hip thrust on the bench, okay? This one is very similar to the very first one we did, the hip thrust with the barbell or with the dumbbells. But in this one, you're gonna be using your own body weight only because it's more than plenty. The setup position for your upper body on the bench is just the same as the regular hip thrust. The only thing that's gonna change is you're gonna be supporting yourself on 1 foot only, and you're gonna keep the other leg straight right next to the right leg or the left leg, okay, if you will. What you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be bridging up and down by pushing through your heels or the ball of the foot for every repetition while the other leg remains fully extended. You're gonna drop, hinge at the hips, and then explode on the way up and squeeze, okay, the glutes and the hamstrings. You're gonna do that for every single repetitions under proper control. You want to control the tempo as much as you can. This exercise is not only gonna allow you to contract the glutes, but also your core is gonna be engaged so that you can stabilize your body and stay stable, stay upright, and engage the right muscle. And there you have it, guys. These are my best exercises to build the glutes. Trust me, if you do this routine 2 to 3 times a week with the right tempo, the right rep range, and the right weight, you're gonna see dramatic changes in the thickness, the growth, and also the tone of your glutes. One thing I forgot to mention, guys, is you can add a resistance band, okay? Whenever you're doing the hip thrust, for example, just place it above the knee, and all it does is basically activates a little more the abductor muscles, the ones that allow you to open the legs. So you're gonna feel a little more burn on the side of the hip. And that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. You know what to do, guys. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.